Security Guard Training Course, Section 9, Effective Communications. Overview. In the security field, there are various methods of communication used while on duty. As a security guard, it is your responsibility to understand how to use the communication equipment available to you. Security guards are considered the first contact personnel, and they must effectively convey messages to the recipient in a professional manner. The level of professionalism in your ability to communicate verbally or in writing reflects greatly on the company. Important communication tips. Communication is a vital part of any law enforcement organization. There are many aspects to communication that can either increase or decrease tension in an emergency situation. Below are some important points to acknowledge when you are effectively communicating with the public. Greet everyone in a polite, cheerful manner. Encourage people to work with rather than against security for their own welfare. Convince them that you are not the threat, but rather a protector from the threat. Maintain proper dress and deportment. People have respect for uniforms and authority, but if you do not look the part, even these people will not give you the support and cooperation you need. Remain fair and objective. If you are called upon to resolve a dispute, remember both sides have a right to their point of view. Never take sides in an argument. Recognize that some people don't like to be controlled or told what to do. They forget that you are there to protect them and that the rules are not yours. Answer all questions to the best of your ability. Explain the reasons for your answers as fair as common sense and standing orders allow. Avoid losing your temper or showing negative thinking and prejudices. Resist getting into any unprofessional conduct by a threat or challenge. Resist responding to hostility with hostility. By remaining calm and reasonable, the other person's hostility will dissipate. It takes two people to carry on an argument. Reduce your threat potential by being pleasant and assuming a non-threatening stance. Show interest and concern in the person you are dealing with. Many people only want a good listener and after venting their anger become reasonable. If you have maintained your cool, it will often cause the other person to have more respect for you and security officers in general. Establish an ongoing rapport with the people you are working with and dealing with on a daily basis, in the interest of improving security and community relations. Tactical communication. Tactical communication can be seen as knowing how to deploy suggestive communication tactics when faced with aggressive encounters. 8-step method for dealing with aggressive people. 1. Meet and greet them. 2. Identify yourself. 3. Give them the reason for the interaction. 4. Ask if there is justification for the subject's actions. 5. Ask for positive identification. 6. Acknowledge their cooperation. 7. Make your decision. 8. Make an effective close. Get a thank you out of them if possible. 5 things you should never say. As a security guard, there are certain phrases one should never say to someone in a conflict situation. The following are good examples. Come here. Calm down. What's your problem? Why don't you be more reasonable? Don't you know any better? Using communication skills. All individuals have 2 forms of communication that help shape our experiences and personalities. The first form of communication can be described as internal communication. Internal communication involves our perceived notion on certain words, facial expressions, and body language. The second type of communication is external communication. External communication revolves around how the other party perceives your actions and words. External communication can be manipulated if the individual deploys a clear, accurate message. 4 stages of crisis. There are 4 stages of a crisis. You need to know these so you can recognize them and react accordingly. They are 1. Pre-crisis, the initial stage. 2. Crisis, when the situation is such that officers have to become involved, the incident is elevated to the crisis level. 3. Negotiations, the point at which an attempt is made to end the crisis through negotiation. 4. Surrender, the hoped-for peaceful resolution of the crisis resulting from successful negotiations. Security guards' role in the 4 stages. 1. Pre-crisis. Thoughts and emotions on both sides are under control until an unexpected event occurs. 2. Crisis. When things get out of control, the guard's goal is to establish rapport and credibility and restore the subject to a pre-crisis level of functioning. 3. Negotiation. Negotiation is an attempt to get the subject to evaluate his or her position. This outlines the options and consequences of each action. 4. Surrender. Security guard gains acceptance of notion of surrender without casualty. Dealing with a crisis. Never sacrifice safety for rapport. Always consider the following critical points. Develop trust. Work hard to establish trust and credibility. Make good use of communication skills. Clarify rather than confuse during a confrontation. Show evidence of mutual respect.